Self-acceptance is your superpower. And that is part of a message that I received this morning where it said self-acceptance is your strength. And both those things are correct because self-acceptance means that you have decided to honor who you are. You have decided to remember your importance in the world. You have decided to take that next step on your evolutionary journey that would cause you to live your purpose, have success, happiness, and love. See, because we all have that within us, and it depends on how we decide to get there or if we decide to get there. And I got up this morning and there was this heaviness on me, and it took a while for me to get up, and that's not usual for me. And I knew what was going on because whenever I feel this little depression or something that's going on, I have this heaviness, it's because I haven't taken that next step into self-acceptance. And I knew I hadn't done that. And so then I was feeling the energies of the world and knowing what was going on. And so I said, okay, now I'm going to tell a little bit more. And I'm going to read a message to you because we have all felt and seen that the world and we are changing and we don't completely understand what might be happening. But I did understand, but I couldn't accept myself enough to be able to tell everyone in the way that I did. It's so much easier when I do my channeling sessions with Wilhelm because then it all comes out. And I listened to two of those because I have to do that as well. And then I understood a lot more. But I'm going to read you this one message because it'll set the scene for what I'm going to talk about and what I want you to understand because you are moving through some great changes in your life. And it may have felt scary, it felt uncomfortable, but I'm saying that what we are doing now is creating this great world if more of us can accept our superpower, which means becoming who we are meant to become, owning our lives and our life purpose. Um, our life adventure is never wrong or right or any of that. It's what we were given. And so self-acceptance means we come to understand it. And when we understand it, then we have a different kind of energetic reaction to ourselves and we give a different energy to the world. And this is where we are now. And this message came through, well, you'll see, June 26, 2020. The more you know, the less you understand. This message will be an illustration of what we wanted to impart to you all. We gave Roger that title, and then we sat here for quite a while before he would deliver the message because he wanted to know first where we were leading him. You each have done that in your lives to some degree because you all share, again, to varying degrees, a fear of the unknown. We must also say this is not a new predicament for Roger, but more of a lifelong battle he's maintained since an early age. The big difference now, however, is he's beginning to understand it. Roger could not hope to offer any form of clarity to himself or the world until he trusted what he hears. As we have been saying to each of you, to trust what you hear. What we gave him today, which gave him pause, was to speak again on your world's condition. Currently, there is a restructuring occurring, and given you collectively hold the fear of the unknown, that will become greater as you are in the midst of a profound change. It is not difficult to understand how that energy may impact you personally and the world when you offer resistance to the change because you want to know where things are headed beforehand. We will tell you that the United States will experience the greatest shift as it was believed they held the greatest power. You will understand how the feminine energy we have spoken of was misplaced because there was an adjustment that was needed to aid the evolution of all that is. While it may be challenging to separate your individual experience from that of your world, do your best, as it will ease your anxiety. You're finding a new balance in your life where you honor all aspects of you. And when you allow your feminine and masculine energies to achieve balance, so will you. You will understand this soon. In 1989, when I began receiving Wilhelm, it was so crazy for me, and I wasn't going to tell anybody about it. I kept it hidden for, I tried to anyway, for at least 20 years, because it was something coming through that was brand new that I didn't understand, except what was occurring is that it was healing my life. It was taking me through things, horrible, horrible things that I couldn't explain to anyone. And so I didn't want to talk about it. And when these messages started coming through, because they began to change in 2020, I did other things. I wrote a book on fear in 2019 because I knew we would be moving through a lot of fear. Individuals would be having that. When we move through an ascension of ourselves or ascension of the world, we can have a lot of fear because we don't know what's going to happen, except when we understand that if we take control of our consciousness, if we take control of our brains, because that's what we experience everything, then we can do all sorts of things and we can heal. We can heal ourselves and our world then will heal as well. But it sometimes is really challenging for you to accept who you are, your importance, or how that unique gift was meant to be used in the world because you have it. Every single soul does. And when I began doing more meetings with people many years ago, I could read who they were. And this is something that developed over time. We all have intuition, but because of the work I was doing for all these years, mine grew even more. And then to discover that I was this mystic or sage, and I wasn't going to tell anybody that because I said people aren't going to even believe it. Even when I put out my work, when I put out my 4 weeks to your best life, I said to everyone, it's 31 sessions and it will change your life. People said that's not possible. And that is because we have this limitation. We all do. I didn't think it was possible either. And I'm completely honest about that because it was something that was so shocking to me. I couldn't explain to you, and I'm talking about this because I had a meeting with someone yesterday. I'm no longer doing consultations because of this, but I will tell you this. I had a meeting with this person who was moving through seizures, and I understood exactly what was going on. Now, I'm not going to give you all the details about that, but many times our reactions, and many people are having this now, these physical things that you can't understand, and sometimes we call them ascension symptoms or whatever, but they're mind-body connections. And all of our mind-body connections are also leading us to understanding who we are, our unique life path, and when we do that, we heal. And I sat here on a call yesterday with my brothers because I always have to explain things with them. They're my sounding board. And I had to sit and say, I'm sitting here at 73 and I'm remembering every horrible thing that I've moved through in my life, and it's healed. And I can't, and I did a lot of other things in my life. I've done all kinds of trainings and all that stuff. But the main thing that did it was this work that I received from Wilhelm. And if anyone's come to a channeling session, you will understand that because you will hear it. And that was the other thing that was so challenging for me, because when I listened to a channeling session and someone pointed this out, if any of you have watched my video on Next Level Soul, you will hear Alex talk about it because I answer questions right away because I have this complete connection, and that was challenging for me to accept. It was really difficult. And so, and then I was listening to another video this morning about my chart or something. I can't remember what it was. He said, you got to get over being shy. And that has been me. I'm underneath very introverted. And so talking about this, but the heaviness that I felt is that I just need to tell people what's going on. We're moving through this change and we're going to see a lot of ugliness. We're going to see everything being revealed because we have to heal it within us if we expect to see it in the world. Everyone's not going to do that. And this is why we're going to have the conflict. And there are many other things that are going on that would explain this from the the movement of our galaxies, our planet. Let's just say that there are energies that are happening right now that we've never experienced. And so we're all affected by that. And this is why we're seeing all the different things, all the different wars and all that's going on because it's an energetic change. And if you study a lot of history, you can go back and figure all that out. But this is where we are now. The difficulty for me was understanding that I received all of this precognitively, and I had to accept that. And this is where I'm going now, and that's what I'm accepting. So I hope you begin to take a journey of ascension, self-actualization, or whatever that might be, because you'll start to understand that when you become happy, when you become prosperous, when you become successful, then the world starts to change, because that's all of us. And that's the work that I'm doing. So I just wanted to explain that. We're supposed to have really brilliant lives. We're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be successful, but we can't do that unless we're willing to look and discover who we are and let go of everything that was old. And that's what I'm working on now. And I hope you are doing the same. The channeling session that I'm doing on the new moon, please show up, because it's going to be a great one. It's called You Can Choose Peace Over Chaos, because you can see what's happening in the world, and those will be the choices that we will be making this entire year, actually. So have a really great day and decide to actualize your superpower, which is your authentic self, and love who you become. See you soon.